So, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And today we're once again going to talk about food and nutritional facts and stuff like that, because I've actually seen, at least on YouTube, and I haven't had a look at the analytics in terms of the podcast per se. This video was actually quite quote-unquote popular. I mean, it is having like 4 views, which is 4 more than just quite a lot of other videos that I'm having. Sad life. No, but I've seen actually that the podcast is doing quite well from time to time. It is a little bit of a tricky and interesting thing that, on some days I'm getting like 800 fucking plays, and on some other days it is like 2. And I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if this is kind of some distribution problem, which could be the case if it is just some bots that are giving me that amount of fucking views or plays. But anyway, we're gonna see. We're gonna have a look at, protein fruits, high protein fruits. I mean, if we talk about, and then afterwards you're also gonna just search some things, because there's always something that I'm kind of having in my mind that I'm interested in. What did I want to say? Oh my God, it's already starting very well. So high protein fruits. The thing is with fruits, you're not really expecting them to have a lot of protein, at least not in these amounts you're eating them. Of course, if you're eating like billions of kilos of fruits, you probably have a pretty good chance of consuming quite a lot of protein. So I'm not gonna lie there. The thing is, compared to, as they also say, beans and nuts and other high protein foods, it is quite nothing, because you're not eating like half a kilo of fruits all the time, I think at least. So fruits can be a good source of protein, though they tend to provide less than veggies, beans, nuts, and other high protein foods. I, by the way, really am an advocate of beans. Even though I've once heard something about beans, just in terms of the keto diet, not being that good because of whatever testicles and some shit. I don't know, something was about that. And I actually gotta have to look it up, because I've always wondered since then, what it is actually about and what they are quote unquote concerned about. But yeah, the current daily value for protein is 50 grams per day and is meant as a general goal for most people. Well, I'm getting around 90 or something, but I'm also doing quite a lot of sports as well. And this is something that you really have to keep in mind. And I thought about actually just supplementing that as well, because from time to time it is not that easy to just actually consume that high amount of protein. And I mean, around 90, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. It's not that much. It really is not. It really is not that much. Some people are just consuming 200 fucking grams of protein, or maybe even 300. And if you just really are going for that, I think that you kind of have to supplement, so that you don't eat too much, I guess, of other nutrients and stuff like that. But I, in general, really, really, really like to eat whole foods, and I think that it also makes sense. But yeah, anyway, but 50 grams is a little bit low, I would say. 1 cup of fruit can provide between 1 to 10% of the DV, which is the daily value apparently for protein. High protein fruits include guavas, avocados, apricots, kiwi fruit, blackberries, oranges, bananas, cantaloupe, raspberries, and peaches. And I actually didn't know about that, but I'm very interested in apricots, because apricots are also very low in the GI index. And when I'm eating fruits, then I most often really have a look at this index, even though I am thinking about trying to eat just whatever I want at a specific day, and I think it is probably going to be tomorrow, since it could also be today. I don't know. It could also be today and tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be my rest day. I don't know, because of that, if it makes sense that I'm doing it then. It's already my rest day. I'm not just having a lot of expenditures in terms of calories. So should I really be eating like just a lot of things that I wouldn't normally be eating? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm very interested in the apricots. Guavas, per 100 gram it is having 2.6 grams, which is apparently 5% of your DV. And per 200 calories it is having 7.5 grams, which is 15% of your DV. Then we're having avocados with 2 grams per 100 gram, and then apricots with actually 1.4 grams per 100 gram. Kiwis as well, 1.1 gram. And then we're having blackberries, 1.4 as well. So it's actually having, or is it having less? I mean, I have seen that in general, berries are very good. And also because of antioxidants, apparently, I think, especially I think blueberries. But yeah, I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to antioxidants and just some other things besides, okay, protein and carbs and fats and all that stuff. And I do believe that it is actually something that we all should be knowing more about, what which food consists of, whether this is high in protein, whether this is high in carbs. And I don't know, like for me, it is something that's very normal to just know, okay, this fruit is just like high in sugar because it is a fruit and therefore also high in carb, or just vice versa, no matter how you want to put it. But it is just apparently not the case that a lot of people know about that, that this is protein and this is fat and this is whatever. And even though I think it is very easy also just when you're eating it, I mean, when it is sweet, most often it is going to be just carbs. And when it is fruits or veggies, then it is most often going to be carbs besides avocado, which are really high in fat, actually. But as far as I know, good fats. Bananas actually also having 1.1 gram per 100 grams. But as far as I see as well there, bananas are relatively high in calories, but they're really good. They're really good. Maybe I'm actually going to eat a banana today, but I'm not sure. Then we're having raspberries and peaches and so on and so on and so on. And they're also having like some sort of an infographic. That's cool because I've actually seen it before and I've wondered like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. But I didn't know where it was coming from. Food lists: vegetarian iron, vegetarian zinc, protein nuts. So either I'm gonna go for protein nuts or vegetarian zinc. I think zinc is actually very, very, very important for immunity as far as I know. And there's also, as Tim Ferriss, for example, has been talking about it quite often, some zinc sprays that you can spray actually into your mouth, I think, as far as I remember. And it should also help you with your immunity and stuff like that. So let's see. Fortified cereals. What is fortified? Is it like just, you're adding something to it? Builds defenses around, strengthened with defense. Okay, I think it is enriched, yeah, okay. But yeah, of course, I mean, if you're enriching something, then yeah, guess what? You're enriching it with something hopefully good. No, you're enriching it with something that's just completely fucked up. Wow. 100 grams of these fortified cereals contain 64 milligrams of zinc, which is 585% of your daily intake. Well, I don't know if this is something that you should just then really do, but yeah, I don't know. Toasted wheat germ, 17 grams or milligrams, per 100 grams, which is as well 152% of your DV. Firm tofu. Tofu, by the way, is just really fucking tasty. I really like tofu. It's really good. Tofu is having 2 grams per 100 gram, which is 14%. So you gotta have to eat quite a lot of tofu to get that. Then we're having hemp seeds with 10 milligrams, which is 90%, and then lentils and low fat. And this is what I've been searching for, which is oatmeal. But I do eat quite a lot of lentils, but not fresh ones. I do normally take them out of the can because I've been talking about it before, but it makes more sense in terms of the protein that they're having in it, and especially also in terms of the volume, because I tend to eat quite a lot of food. I tend to also need quite a lot of food to fuel my body, just because of workouts, just because of being relatively active. Depends on the day. But on some days I'm just really kind of overdoing it with working out and then also having like a 2-hour bike ride, but just because it is fun, not just because I just have to do it. And I need something that fills me up. I can also just eat 100 grams of lentils freshly cooked, but they are having the same amount of calories nearly, and just a fifth of the fucking volume that I'm having with the canned ones. It depends, it depends on how much water you use and, stuff like that. But yeah. But oatmeal is actually only having 1 milligram per 100 gram. which is, you know, it is 9% of your daily intake, but it's not as much as I thought it has. And then just a ton of other things. But what about protein nuts? Of course. Well, let's have a guess. I think almonds are going to be very high because they actually are very high in protein, and also relatively low in fats actually, which is, I think almond is just one of the best nuts when it comes to protein versus fat, and also just therefore also calories, because the more fat something has, the more calories it is also having, because I think 1 gram of fat is having like 9 calories, whereas proteins and carbs are having like 4 calories per gram, which means the more grams of fat you're having, the higher calories this food or this meal or this whatever is gonna have. But there's also like pecan nuts. I think it is probably gonna be some nut that I just actually don't know about. Well, let's see. Okay, nuts and seeds. Okay, well, hemp seeds. Per 100 grams, it is having 31.6 grams of protein. But yeah, just eat 100 grams of fucking hemp seeds. You're not gonna fucking do that. Seeds in general, squash and pumpkin seeds, 29.8 grams of protein. But I do also have to point out that they are relatively high in calories, since they're also very fatty. The third is peanuts. I didn't think about that. Fuck. But I should have. And then we have almonds. I mean, peanuts are having 24.4 grams of protein per 100 grams. And almonds are having 21.2 grams. So it is quite something. I mean, if you eat like 300 grams of peanuts each day, I don't know who is doing that, but then it just does matter, those 3 grams. And it is actually something that I'm seeing very often with canned food. If it is 1 gram less, then I'm already having in total sometimes like 5 grams less of protein, or maybe even 10 grams. And this is something that can, I think, make a difference, and also make a difference in how I'm approaching these foods then, because I do not want to waste protein. So if it is something that's really high in protein, then I try to not eat that much of it, because I would just waste it, and I would just piss it out, and I don't want to do that, because per meal we should have like 40 grams of protein, something like that. And for example, when I'm eating fish, then I tend to eat, it is a little bit of a fucked up situation, because I do actually need more, and most often I'm not having any carbs with my fish, because I don't know, I'm just eating no potatoes and stuff like that, and my family is most often eating potatoes, and therefore I'm just not having anything. And but most often I'm having 2 fillets. But the problem is, one is probably going to be like more than 100 grams, and therefore when we talk about salmon, it's probably going to be like at least over 20 grams of protein. So if I eat 2 of them, then I'm probably going to be about those 40. So I tend to really just eat 1 fillet in the evening and 1 for noon or just for lunch. But yeah, it is a little bit fucked up because I'm still hungry then. But yeah, I just don't want to waste the protein there, even though this is exactly what I did yesterday. I've eaten 2 fillets because I thought, well, you know what, it is what it is. Dried coconut. By the way, because I actually wanna look it up. Yes, coconuts in general are having 18.3 grams of fat. So this is for 28 grams, but I want to have 100 grams, please. 64 grams, so they're actually very fatty. Even though I do want to point out that they are not as fatty, or they don't taste as fatty as they are. I mean, if you're eating an avocado, then you really taste that it is fatty. And also with oil, you just kind of notice it, I think. But I don't really think that it is the case with coconut in general, whether it is dried or whether it is fresh one. But it's having a lot of saturated fat. So from 64 grams, it is having 57 grams of saturated fats. And but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is the exact same thing with cacao powder. Can I find it? I've probably written it incorrectly. What if I just type in powder? What is gonna come? Gelatin, chili powder, curry powder, garlic powder, tomato powder, lemonade powder, cacao mix powder. I don't know what cacao. I do actually want to have raw, but we're gonna have a look at the sugar and if it is a lot of sugar, but I just can't see anything. Well, raw cocoa? Huh? Cocoa powder? Do you write it like this? I just don't understand anything. So, 2 tablespoons, which apparently are 4 grams. And I actually do wanna, because the thing is, if we have a look at the 100-gram thing, then what? No, this is not the case. The thing is, they say raw cacao powder is having like 25 grams of total fat, whereas, or of which 25 grams are saturated fats, and this is totally not the case. But it's actually also having a lot of protein and most often iron, or just most of all iron with 18 milligrams, which is just 100 grams of what you need. Calcium, 19% of what you need. Potassium, 19%, and phosphorus, 40% of what you need. So the thing with cocoa powder, or however you wanna just call it, I don't actually know, is that it is actually very good in terms of minerals and stuff like that. I actually do want to look it up because it is not the truth. Cacao powder raw. Maybe we can have a look at just some website there. Terra Sana raw superfood bio cacao pulver. Oh, yeah. Well, let's actually have a look at it. I just want to have a look at the nutritional facts there. What I want to say is that it is having a really high amount of saturated fats, which is in general something that you do not want to have. But apparently just a lot of people still eat cacao powder just because it is healthy, they say. And I mean, I have looked it up, whether there's something about just the structure of this, just molecule wise and something. And apparently there is something which makes this saturated fat not as bad as some other saturated fat. But I mean, it is the exact same thing that we've seen with coconut oil, you know, that it is actually kind of bad, but people still are using it. And I just don't really get it. I gotta have to actually have a look at this. Well, I think, yeah, okay, this is more accurate, I would say. You know, they say 12 grams of fat and 7 grams of saturated fats and actually 29 grams of protein. Wow. Per 100 grams. But what is a tablespoon? Tablespoon. Whoa, okay, well, thank you. A tablespoon is apparently 14, well, let's say 15 grams. Actually? Is it heaped or just... And 3 teaspoons. Well, 15, let's go for 15 grams. So 12 divided by 100 times 15. You're gonna have 1.8 grams of fat, and of these are gonna be 3/4 quite. Let's just eyeball it, you know. Points. Well, yeah, thank you. So, well, yeah, okay. I mean, you're gonna have like 81. You can actually see that. Fucking amazing. But I do actually have some cacao over there. And I gotta tell you the nutritional facts. There's something that I know. It's not mine. I actually gotta have to give it back to a friend of mine. It is actually schwach entoilt. And I pronunciation on top there. I can't even talk in German anymore. It is having quite a lot of fat. This is what it is saying. Well, okay, I think this is quite accurate. I mean, 21 grams of fat, of which are 13.2 grams gesättigte Fettsäuren beziehungsweise saturated fats, of course. Then you're gonna have 12 grams of carbs, 30 grams of fiber, which is amazing, and 22.3 grams of protein, which is also really fucking amazing. But still, as I said, I don't know what's up with I don't know, as I said, it's what's up with the saturated fat there. Like, I don't know. But yeah. I'm gonna end the episode there, so I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person, and then also being remembered as a nice person, which is a super duper cool thing. 3 other questions that I have for you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. Yeah. One other question that I have for you is: what could you especially say to another person that is really going to change their life? And yeah, with that being said, I am hopefully going to see you next time. Bye-bye, and thank you very much. I hope that I've been able to just go through some things and talk about some things that are of interest to you. And yeah, I'm gonna see you.